Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys an update video on my L-Twoo 12-speed Electrnoic ERX group set that I bought off AliExpress. And I want to kind of give you guys this update because I did my first ride on it, and I've been having a little bit of issues with this group set, and I wanted to talk about those issues today, talk about my experience with buying it, and also my experience with after I posted that video on the L-Twoo group set as well, and where it's kind of at. Because I want to be as transparent as I can with you guys, and that way if you guys are actually thinking about purchasing this, you guys know all the facts and details before you go ahead and make this. So I went ahead, the way I got this group set is that I found this thing on AliExpress while I was in my emails and basically got recommended to me, and it was pretty early release. Early enough to a point I think even Joe from China Cycling was like, oh, I still haven't gotten those yet. But I saw on AliExpress, I got an email, I was like, oh, they're already on AliExpress. They have a 5-piece upgrade kit where it's the front derailleur, rear derailleur, the brake calipers, and the shifters on here as well, and the battery and the wires. And I'm like, I'm gonna buy this thing because I want to see how this is. I'm actually very curious to it. I think it looks very good, and I think they are a great competitor to the Western brands over here in terms of what they do. It's a 12-speed Electrnoic group set that's semi-wireless. A cable running to the rear derailleur and a cable running to the front derailleur goes into the battery and the C-post, and then the shifters themselves are wireless. And I didn't know this, but the group set can be ran either 11-speed or 12-speed, being done in an app. They also have an app, which I just mentioned, that is very similar to like what Shimano's is, where you can literally adjust and fine-tune your gears in the actual gear itself. But after posting my video and my kind of first initial take on this, I had a ton of people reach out to me and say, this is an unfinished product. That basically on AliExpress they're selling them right now and they still think that they're unfinished, and that maybe even my group set that I'm running right now isn't a finished product, in terms of like people were noticing that on mine when I was shifting the rear derailleur that the front derailleur was auto trimming and that wasn't supposed to happen in the finished or polished version of it. So maybe mine was a unfinished product or unreleased. But in my mind, when I see on when I see it on AliExpress for consumers to buy, I think that it's released. That's what my mindset is, and whenever there's a product available to consumers, I feel like it's finished. But then everyone else also reached out to me and said L-Twoo official store on AliExpress wasn't selling it at the time of my video, and that other people were still working on this as is. To date now, L-Twoo official store is selling on AliExpress, and other people have reached out to me saying that they are being sold in China over there, but they still are, like, to a point where like Joe at Panda Podium has not released on his website because I guess they're still working on the bugs on it. And what I mean by bugs, so I did about 30 miles on this thing. I did about 36 miles today. After about 20 miles on this bike, it shifted. It worked really well. It was working very smooth. There was no real issues with it. It shifted very, very well. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my rear derailleur stopped working completely. Actually, both the front derailleur and rear derailleur completely stopped working. There was indication green lights going back and forth in here, and I just thought that it was dead. Because at the beginning of the ride as well, I charged my bike the night before. I made sure I charged it all the way up. In the app, it said I had a full battery, but I paired it with my Hammerhead computer, and inside the app, whenever I started riding about a mile out, it said battery level critical low. So I figured that there was something wrong with the battery. The battery held up well. It worked very good for 20 miles. But after I came off of a pole, and we were doing a pole about 23, 24 miles an hour, I came off and I went to go ahead and upshift to make it a little bit more comfy for me. It completely stopped working. To a point where we continued to ride for about 4 miles. I kept on telling the guys to go in front of me because I was in such a hard gear. I was basically in my 52, I think that's like a 14 or something like that. And that was the only gear I was in. Luckily, we're in Florida. Luckily, I was in a group where I can turn the wheel, but it was not working at all. Even to the point where I came to a stop at a light and had to start back up. And yeah, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere, out of the blue, it started shifting again. I just started pressing the buttons and periodically checking, and it started shifting again. No issues, and it shifts all the way throughout the ride. But I think the problem with this is that there's a feature on here that it has, which is a sleep mode feature. So right now, the bike is fully charged. I'm gonna go and shift it. See right now, there's no shift. I think you actually have to physically engage it and turn the pedals for it to go ahead and actually have a function to it. Now, that's great if it worked properly, but as of right now, it's sitting. And this is normal. SRAM and Shimano both do this, where kind of you have to wake them up and move them around. But no matter how many times I click this, it doesn't work. If I go ahead and spin the pedals backwards, it should work. Kind of wake up a little bit. See, right there. So that works now, but it was just very weird that it went to sleep mode mid-ride. I literally thought that the batteries just died out of nowhere, but yeah, so I wanted to be clear with you guys. Maybe it's my unit alone. Maybe they're still working on this, but maybe they're gonna send out a software update on here. I will say a couple good things about this is that installation on this was very easy. It's literally 2 wires through the frame into a battery. The hydraulic cables for the brake on here are very simple. The brakes on here, the brake mounting system, are very cumbersome and robust. I didn't really like how they installed on there. I will have a video on this whole bike whenever I'm able to show it. But you see the brake mounting system back there? It's very big and bulky, but there's no difference than any other bike. They went into the shifter hoods very easily, and I didn't have any issues installing it, and I think it came out really nice. But the app is very useful. The only thing that is different between the app on this bike is that you have to go ahead and individually adjust each gear on here. So whenever I'm in that gear, let's say I'm in this gear right here, and if it's ticking, it's going to, I would individually in the app go ahead and tear it and micro adjust for that gear, and then I shift up, and then maybe the next gear was a little bit out of whack, and I micro adjust that gear. So you go ahead and you individually adjust that on there. And I will also say, from my experience with my front derailleur, I don't know if it's just a pairing that I have, but on here, I don't know if my front derailleur is just kind of janky, but I have an Ultegra crank, 12-speed, a KMC 12-speed chain, and Ultegra rear derailleur. And my front derailleur on here is a little bit janky on here. Could be a little bit of alignment. Like I said, we don't use the front derailleurs that much in Florida, so I'm not too worried about it. I just keep it in the front. But shifting down and up, it does stutter a little bit. It does take a little bit to go up and down. I've moved it around every which way. I've messed with the limit screws inside the app. But yes, and also a little bit about the front derailleur as well. The day that I installed it on the bike and I had the rear derailleur working, it worked amazing, but the front derailleur stopped working completely. The rear derailleur worked, but the front did not work at all until I went into the app and I opened it up. And once I paired it in the app, and once I paired the app to the group set itself, then I was able to go ahead and the front derailleur just started working again out of nowhere. So it was very weird. But I will say that this does have support in terms of with your Hammerhead or a Garmin. It does hook up where you can kind of mess around, maybe put your gearing in there. It tells you your battery level, which is really cool. So you are getting a ton of support there. But so far, I just want to kind of give you guys an update because I know I had a ton of people ask me this, and I want to be as transparent as possible about this group set. For the money, it's great. I'm enjoying it right now, and it's working really well. But those little small hiccups, like that first ride, I have to see if it continues. That first ride where it scared me a little bit, you know? I thought I was gonna be stuck in that gear for the rest of the ride. Luckily, it was on the tail end of the ride. Luckily, it was the last 6 miles to go. But I would be very pissed as a consumer. I mean, I am a consumer, but I would be very pissed as a consumer to buy this product and just have that kind of just out of nowhere. I think they need to put out a software update to go ahead and maybe reduce how quick it goes into sleep mode, or maybe you can adjust when you want it to go into sleep mode. But yes, it was very scary at the time. The brakes feel phenomenal. The brakes feel absolutely beautiful. And the shifting, I wish the buttons on here, the actuation, it's like right now, it's in sleep mode again. So, but as soon as I start pedaling again, see? It goes to sleep mode so fast. I think if they go ahead and just adjust that, I know they're trying to save battery, I know they're trying to do, but if they just adjust that, it'll work really well. But anyways, guys, sorry for the bike and how it looks. This is, again, a bike that I will show you guys later on down the road, and hopefully you guys enjoy. But other than that, I do like the ergonomics of these shifter hoods. I do like the way they perform on the bike. The brakes feel phenomenal. They squeeze, I mean, the bleed feels beautiful. The shifting feels great. I paired them very well. Yeah, I think the bike looks amazing. And this bike matches so well with this group set. I got a review on these wheels coming up soon. These wheels are phenomenal. I mean, this whole bike, I'm absolutely loving right now. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next video.